down a date of birth as 3/28/1959. Is that correct? Okay. And then I don't know if you have this is the current one here, or maybe this is the older one, the 3619 Tacoma. Is that the current one there? Okay, perfect. And then I'll have you off here in just a second. Typically when we get these, most people just want to make sure there's no burdens left behind, like cost of burial or cremation, or some folks just want to leave some extra money behind for their families. Is that kind of the same thing you were looking at? Okay, perfect. And are you a smoker, non-smoker? Like if morning's better, I have like a 9 a.m. or if you want to do something a little later in the afternoon, I have like a 1 o'clock. Afternoon, got it. Okay, I'll pencil in for the 1. I know you're at work right now, so I won't bother you, but I'll confirm with just a text message with my state license number and my information, okay? Awesome. I look forward to meeting you and helping you then. All right, guys, so you just saw me do a little bit of a quick book. I had to kind of skip over some of the medical stuff because she was at work, but she said she did want it. You heard she did want it for her daughter, right? So we were able to just kind of like skip ahead, get down to the script, give her 2 times. And you guys, in the rest of this video, you guys are going to learn the psychology of the script, what to say and why you're saying it. You're going to learn how to skip around in the script, but you're also going to learn how to read straight through the script to book the perfect appointment so that when you go and you show up, you know exactly why you're there and they know exactly why you're there, and they're going to hopefully buy some insurance from you guys. So just stay tuned and keep watching to learn more. All right, guys, so next stop on this series is we're going to be talking about the in-home script, and we're going to be talking about the psychology, and I'm also going to be reading through the script as well. Some key little nuggets that I use. Sometimes you're going to have to bounce around the script a little bit, a couple things, but I'm going to read it exactly how I would read it. You guys probably just saw me actually book an appointment in the last video, and so this is how generally we're going to be doing it. I'm going to be talking about it along the way. Okay, so I'm going to read it off, and then we'll do it together here. So be like, hey John, this is Tyler. I was just getting back to you in regards to a request that was sent into our office a little while back. It looks like it was looking at the information on the state-regulated life insurance or final expense programs here in Pierce County. It looks like you listed your date of birth here as blank blank. Is that correct? Now, couple things, guys, you guys are going to notice when I read that. Number one, my tone, right? I'm pretty chill, right? I'm pretty monotone. I'm acting like what I tell a lot of new agents is you're getting paid like $10 an hour, $15 an hour to do your job. So you're not going to want to be calling these people excited to make a sale, right? You're going to sound like a salesperson. Remember, you're the medical underwriter, right? Your job, this just came across your desk. You are literally making $10 an hour to book these appointments, okay? That's the mindset you have to be in. So don't be excited, and be calm, be composed, and be confident in what you're doing, okay? You're a professional, okay? You know way more than everybody else, right, that you're calling about what you're doing, okay? So those are a couple things you guys are going to notice. Now, one thing I'm going to really put a key on here is don't pause, right? Do not pause. If you pause after you say here in blank county, you're giving them the chance to give you a rebuttal right away. You don't want to get a rebuttal before you tell them you have their information, right? And the psychology behind that is going to be if you're telling them, hey, I have your date of birth before they even say anything, you now look like, oh, they did send you their information, right? Oh, they actually, you do have something of theirs that you probably shouldn't have. You were just a random, cold caller, or you were just like a random like scammer or something like that, right? So it's so important to not pause right there. I can't put enough emphasis on that, because the difference of a client when you give them their information, their date of birth versus not, they're going to treat you so different, right? And the rebuttals are going to be way more, harder to overcome unless you give them their information back, right? So let's say we go through that. Okay, and so it looks like you listed your date of birth here as blank blank. Is that correct? Now, I put on the script here too. They might ask, what is this about? This is really where you'll get that a lot. Always just read the common rebuttal. You guys have the common rebuttal on the sheet. Hey, what is this about? What's going on? Remember, neutralize. No, hey, sorry. So we'll say, they might ask, what is this about? Always read the common rebuttal. If not, just continue. They might just go, yes, that's my date of birth. Perfect. Awesome. And I have the delivery address is this. Is that the current one? Now, I always say, is this the current one? Because if these are older leads, they may have moved, right? And so what you're doing is you're already getting rid of the rebuttal before it happens, right? Because if you say, and I have the delivery address is this, right? And they go, I moved there 2 years ago. I moved from there. This is old. I don't remember doing this, but hang up, right? Instead, if you say, now I have the delivery address is blank. Now, is that the current one, John? And something I'll make a note of here too, I'm always saying the client's name. I don't put it as much in the script, but I'm saying the client's name. You guys need to understand that people love hearing their name. It's their favorite word, right? People's favorite word is their name, right? So if you can say their name, little tiny things like that will add up. They're going to want to listen to what you have to say, okay? So awesome. I have the delivery address as blank. Is that the current one there, John? They're going, no, that's the old one. Perfect. That makes a lot of sense why I haven't actually got this out into you. Awesome. I have the delivery address as blank. Is that the current one there? And they go, no, that's the old one, right? And you're going, okay, perfect. That makes a lot of sense why we haven't got this out to you yet. What's the updated address there? And they're going to give you their address. Perfect. Now you are in control of the conversation, right? Okay, perfect. Awesome. And I'll have you off the phone here pretty quick, okay? Now, I say that so people know this is not going to be a super long conversation. I'm not trying to keep them on the phone all day, right? So, awesome. And I'll have you off the phone here pretty quick, John. Now, originally, was your main concern final expense coverage like cost of burial or cremation, or you just wanted to leave extra money behind for your family, right? Now, get ready for rebuttals. I'm not really interested, or I already got this taken care of, whatever it is. We did the rebuttal training. You guys know what to do for that, right? So I'm not going to go too much into that, but we're just going to keep going. Let's say you give them the rebuttal. You keep going back to script. Perfect. I'll have you off the phone here pretty quick. I say it again because I'm letting them know, like, hey, this is going to be really fast. Because sometimes people, they want it, but they just don't want to do it right then. And so they might just try and hang up because they just don't want to talk to you right at that exact time. Perfect. I'll have you off the phone here pretty quick. And are you a smoker or a non-smoker? Non-smoker. Awesome. And are you working right now, John? You retired, disabled? Awesome. And then who was the beneficiary you had in mind, or who's your beneficiary? Right. It's going to be my daughter. Okay. What's her name? Right. Now, psychologically, guys, you need to get the beneficiary, who it is and what their name is, right? Now, as soon as that happens, you're turning this into a reality for the client, okay? So this is really, really important. What you're doing them is you're qualifying them right here. You're in control. You're the one asking the questions. You're getting them to go, yes, no, answer the question, right? And who's the beneficiary? Boom, they're going to give you the beneficiary. What's their name? Perfect. Now we know who we're protecting. We have a reason to be on the phone today, right? So perfect. So the good news here, John, it looks like there's about a dozen options you can qualify for. These are all non-medical, meaning no blood, no needles, or any doctor's appointments required. All they do is they send me as a medical underwriter to do a quick visual and make sure you're not hospitalized or bedridden. Now, that's not you, right? I say that, and usually maybe you'll get a little laugh out of them. They're like, no, I work, I'm doing this, I'm 70 years old, but I'm going swimming today, blah, 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 whatever they say, right? You just want to, this is where clients might start to open up a little bit with you, and you can kind of get on their team and really get more comfortable to book the appointment, right? This is usually where that'll start to happen. Now, throughout this, I'm mirroring the client's energy also. I'm staying calm, confident, composed, right? Especially through the rebuttals, I'm very calm, composed. But now if they start opening up to me a little bit, I'll start opening up to them a little bit, giving them a little bit of, not as like monotone. I'm kind of mirroring the client, right? And so if a client's going really fast, like, what is this? Da-da-da-da-da, and they're going a little bit fast, I'm going to start going a little bit faster because I'm like, okay, they want to get off the phone. We're going to get it. We don't need to like slow down and go over everything. We can just like kind of like go through this thing pretty quick here, okay? So that's a note there too, guys. You're going to want to mirror the client, whatever they're doing, but your default mode should just be calm, monotone. You're making $15 an hour to do this right now. You're a professional. You're a medical underwriter. You're not a salesperson, okay? Now when you're explaining for the medical part right here, I touched on the rebuttals. you're basically telling them, hey, I need to come over to make sure you're not hospitalized or bedridden, right? So that is your purpose for going over there, right? We talked about the rebuttal, so I'm not going to talk about that. But and then after you say, that's not you, right? Haha, perfect. Okay, and are you pretty healthy for the most part? Now, what I'm doing here is I'm kind of starting to figure out what kind of product I can even help them with, right? Are you pretty healthy for the most part? They're going to say, yeah, I'm pretty healthy for the most part. Or, hey, I got high blood pressure. I got diabetes. I've got, this, that. You might get a couple things. I don't go into it at all. I leave it very general. If they say I'm healthy, I go, cool, and I move on. If they want to tell me a couple things they're taking, I'm just making notes of that so that when I go and I sit down with them, I already have a lot of the information I need and I can come in there prepared for the appointment, okay? And so, perfect, pretty healthy for the most part, awesome. Now this is going to be booking the appointment, right? So now in regards to our schedule, John, we've actually been super far behind. I'm just one of the managers here. They have helping out right now, but it looks like they are going to have us dispatched out in the area the next couple of days, seeing about 10 to 15 other families. So I won't have a lot of time, but I'll definitely get this out to you. A lot of times, guys, you're going to be dealing with disabled and retired people. And so we're going to go straight to that. Do you have any doctor's appointments tomorrow or on Wednesday? Okay. And then are you more of a morning person or an afternoon person? Okay, great. I have a time here and I have a time here. What works better? Now, I'm going to break this down. What you're doing is you're giving them the illusion of choice. Okay, illusion of choice. This is huge. This is huge, guys. This is going to be whether you book the appointment or not. Okay, so really, really write this down, okay? You're giving them, now, do you have any doctor's appointments going on tomorrow or the next day? I don't care what day they pick, but I just want them to pick a day, right? I want to go sit down with them, okay? Now, when I'm doing this, I'm not booking, and this is a little side note here, I'm not booking out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3 months from now. I'm booking as soon as I possibly can see them in the next 48 hours, right? If it's got to be 72 hours, we got to push it out to Friday. I'm like, I don't even know. We're really booked up. I don't want to do that. I want to book it as soon as possible. But if their schedule, they can't do it for whatever reason, I'll go out, up to, 3, 4, 5 days maybe. But my goal is to see them as soon as possible from when we talked on the phone, when the information is fresh in their head, okay? So now, if they're disabled or retired, they might have doctor's appointments, stuff like that. So do you have any appointments going on tomorrow or Wednesday? Yeah, I have appointments going on tomorrow, so Wednesday will probably work better. Okay, perfect, John. Are you more of a morning person or an afternoon person? Oh, I love sleeping in. I'm retired. I like afternoons better. Perfect. Now, what you're doing there is you're gonna give them times, because if they would have said I'm an afternoon person, I said, hey John, I have a 10 a.m. or an 11 a.m. They're not gonna want to meet with me, right? And they're probably they might just hang up the phone, right? Because that doesn't work for them. So what you're doing is you're just making sure you're kind of clearing their schedule. You're seeing when they're going to be available, and you're giving them times between their availability so they actually pick one. Okay, so you're more of a morning person or an afternoon person? More of an afternoon person? Great, John. I have a 2 p.m. and I have a 3:30 p.m. What works best for you? 3:30? Okay, perfect. We're booking the appointment. Now, once you've booked the appointment, we're going to come down here. We're going to skip over the working. Now, if they're working, I put the notes in there. Usually if they're working, they get home after 5 or have certain days off. Give them 2 time slots during their available days. Same thing. So, same thing. Hey, do you get off work at 5? Okay, perfect. I've got some time tomorrow and on Wednesday. What works better? Wednesday. Okay, cool. I've got a 5:30. I've got a 6:30. What works better, right? Same kind of deal. Now, moving on. So, perfect, John. I got you down here for 3:30 on Wednesday. And now the address I have here, is that a house or an apartment? Great. Okay. You guys are figuring out where you're going to go, right? This is really important. Make sure you read that. Okay, great. Now, before I have you off the phone here, John, could you do me a favor, grab a pen and paper to take down my information, just so you know who's coming by? I'm just required to give you my state license number. This is going to tie down the appointment, okay? It's great to book appointments, but if you don't do this last part and tie it down, your no-show rate is going to go through the roof, right? We want to make sure that when we're booking these appointments, the people are actually there and they remember the appointment, right? Guys, we're working with a lot of older folks when we're talking about final expense. sometimes they don't remember too well, right? So we got to be making sure that they're writing it down, they're putting it in their calendar. I'm repeating it back to them. I have them repeat it back to me, right? And so I'm going to give them my name. So I go, hey, my name's Tyler. My last name's Green. I have it down for Wednesday at 3:30. My state license number is 1045286. I say, hey, I drive a black car. And then ask, I always ask them where to park. Okay. So if it's an apartment, hey, am I parking? Can I park under what's it called? Can I park under the covered parking, or do I need to park on the side? Or I don't want to make anybody mad. Where do I park at? Right. Oh, you should park here. They're like painting you the picture. They're telling you how to drive there. Like you don't have a GPS. Right. And so, okay, perfect. Awesome. And so, and then is the apartment number, is it going to be on the door? Is it going to be on the building? Like, how am I going to find that? Or if it's a house, hey, what color is the house? I just want to make sure I'm not like, do you want me to park in the driveway? Do you want me to park in the street? What's going to be the best? I don't want to get in anybody's way, Okay, perfect. I'm painting the picture and I'm saying, guys, I'm coming over to your house and you're going to remember me coming over to your house because I'm asking you all these questions about it, right? So, tell them what vehicle to drive, ask where to park, and then, and I didn't put that in the script, but that's just something for you guys to know is going to be to ask them where to go, where to park. And the last thing I say, okay, John, I've got you my calendar for Wednesday at 3:30. Make sure to put me in your calendar for then. Okay. Do you have your calendar by you? Now, I didn't put this in the script, but I'm just telling you guys this now. This is really important. I make them write it in their calendar. Okay. Write it down in your calendar. And I ask them, so what time do we have that appointment again? Is it Wednesday? What time? 3:30, right? Okay, that's what I got. I got you in my calendar here, John. I look forward to meeting you and helping you then. Like I said, I'll be in a black car. I'm gonna park on the street. I'm gonna have my name tag on. That way you know it's me, and I'm gonna have a backpack on. That way you know it's me. Like I said, it shouldn't take us too long, 10 to 15 minutes. And I'll make sure you guys are all taken care of. Okay, perfect. Okay, I got you down in my schedule. I'm really hammering it down that they have it written down. They have it in their schedule. And they're going to be seeing me at that day and the time, and I'm going to make sure they don't forget. Okay, guys. Now, that's going to be everything for the script and the psychology behind the script, right, of why you're saying what you're saying when you're booking the appointment. Like I said, guys, in the very first video, the script doesn't matter. You being really good at the script doesn't matter if you're not talking to enough people. The way you're going to actually learn how to get really good at this is talking to a lot of people, getting hung up on a lot, doing a lot of rebuttals, until it's going to become a second nature for you guys, knowing what to say, why you're saying it, and when to say it, right? And so with that, guys, we're going to move on to the next spot. Go ahead and rewatch this if you guys need to go through the psychology of the script, because this is really, really important. This is how you're going to create appointments so that you guys can go make sales and make money for your guys' family. Let's go.